You cannot afford to ignore that. So how to position the so-called new business dynamism? You are supposed to do everything complying with all economic and ecological and social norms. So I can summarize all these 17 sustainable development goals, the targets and indicators in three parameters, using three words. They should ensure economic efficiency, ecological compliance, and social inclusion. So if the firms fail to adhere to this, they will be destroying the planet. Climate change has come to reality and everybody is worried about it. I always say that if you do business to destroy the planet, there will be no planet to do business. Businessmen should really realize that. So whatever you do, let me start with the so-called social inclusion. We are always talking about poverty reduction and this and that, and many politicians made huge wealth out of poverty. All the time talking about poverty reduction, working for the poor, poorest of the poor, and that's a big source of income for politicians. They come to power and then as well, we are seeing it. I don't have to convince you. I don't have to provide you with the convincing reasons and compelling argument why I am saying that. Let us talk about poverty. Poverty cannot be alleviated by charity. Poverty can be alleviated only by wealth creation. Wealth creation stems from enhanced productivity growth. And enhanced productivity growth in turn stems from enhanced adaptive capabilities and skills to use modern technology and to commercialize new knowledge. We talk a great deal about digitalization, digital transformation, and this and that. I will just explain the difference between all these things. At the national level, if you want to grow and prosper, it is important you make optimal use of the technological marvels. They are doing wonders. Look at the cost of communication. You don't pay anything for that. I remember in the 80s, whenever I undertook a mission to Africa, upon landing in a highly complicated country, the reputation may be upon landing in Lagos, you get killed, something like that. In a highly complex and complicated country, nobody wants to go. Whenever I went there, upon landing, I had to call my wife for 1 minute to say, I landed safe, I'm in the hotel. Okay. You know how much I paid? $8 per minute. And today, communication cost is nil. What a great marvel. Anybody can talk to anybody across countries and continents without paying for it. This is the advantage of it. So we have to make optimal use of that. Optimal use of all these advantages of technological marvels to do what? To ensure economic efficiency, ecological compliance, and social inclusion. Again, I gravitate around social inclusion. I said poverty cannot be alleviated by charity. So alleviated by what? Alleviated only by wealth creation. You have to add value. Unless you add value to your resource-based comparative advantages, you will not convert the resource-based comparative advantages into competitiveness. Look at the fate of Africa. It's a disaster. The African continent encompasses all forms of resources. Everything is available. We talk about agricultural resources, mineral resources, natural resources. Everything is gold, silver, diamond, platinum, oil. Wherever they did, they hit high quality of oil, very high quality of oil. So what is the business dimension they should do? They should do what Indonesia did. When this Indonesia discovered high quality of oil, you know what they did? They did not sell it for domestic market. They used the high quality. High quality of oil means cost of extraction is low and the quality is very high. Refinery cost is very less. They use the high quality oil, domestic oil, to produce high value added products like aviation fuel, something like that, which is fetching huge margin in the international market, exported everything to the international market to Europe and imported cheap oil, low quality cheap oil for domestic market. This is business dynamics. So if you talk about, you have to first understand the dynamic change. If you don't understand the dynamic change, you cannot inculcate the mindset required for making optimal use of all these changes. It's very important to that. So, developed countries, I talk about that. So they have huge resources. Unfortunately, they are not converting their comparative advantages into competitiveness because there's really no value addition. If you go to any African country, you see a big bridge, and it is written like this: donated by government of China. Friendship bridge, donated by government of China. And you look at the other side, big opera theater, friendship hall, donated by government of China. Then highways, friendship road, donated by government of China. What they do, they ship all their resources to China and leave the friends there. This is the meaning of their friendship. Everywhere, friendship. It's all under the pretext of friendship. Making super exploitation. It's open robbery without violence, what China is doing now. Virtually no addition. See, I will give you one example. Zanzibar. Have you heard of Zanzibar? Beautiful island is part of mainland Tanzania. The most beautiful resort, holiday resort. Bill Gates owns a house on one of the islands near Zanzibar. And the house is maintained by 14 servants throughout the year for his 1 week stay per year. He lands in Kilimanjaro and takes off and lands there, and for 1 week stay, house is so beautiful. The water is like this. You see high waves and low waves. If possible, you also go to Zanzibar. In fact, in February, I am going there. My most favorite holiday destination. And you see, and the coconut trees like this, planted like this, and there are swings there and there. You can stay there, and the waves will wash your leg throughout the day. You can be crystal clear white sand, and the high waves bring seaweed. High waves bring seaweed. Okay, when they recede, the seaweed is on the floor, on the shore. These local farmers just collect it. They don't even wash it, sir. They don't even wash it using the seawater and give it to the Chinese agents. Okay, the world market price for that raw seaweed is $120 per ton. Chinese were giving only $15 because it is given with the sand content. The Chinese just take them in front of them, they wash and add little value, and then add some more value, and then export it to China, and there it is converted into highly sophisticated product, and they export it to Japan, wherever they make sushi and all this. The seaweed, it's very good. It has medicinal value. This is what they are doing. So when they don't add it, I am giving only one example. You take any commodity, coffee tragedy, cocoa tragedy, pineapple tragedy, everything is a tragedy there. Copper, and now the latest one, lithium. So they found a huge belt across African countries, very high quality. You know that we are now shifting from the petrol and diesel to electric. And see, the whole world needs huge quantity of lithium, and these Africans, they continue to export it in wrong form. Is it not a complete lack of? That's why I used to say that African countries are stranded in the resource curse. There's a resource curse. They have resources, but they are not adding value, exporting everything in raw form and making everybody profit, and they get only the money. That's why whenever there is a big boom, commodity boom, their growth rate is very as high as 6%, 7%, which is not bad, but it is commodity boom-led growth. But elsewhere, 5% growth, value-added based growth, is creating more jobs. And there is a World Bank report published in 1989, which empirically, systematically, scientifically proved that value-added based growth lifted millions of people out of poverty in newly industrializing countries. Republic of Korea, Taiwan province of China, Thailand, Indonesia, Malaysia, everywhere in East Asia. And high growth based on commodity boom-led growth pushed many more millions into the poverty trap. Many more millions into the poverty trap. Because they don't follow any type of innovation. There are three main types of innovation. My topic is role of innovation in the current transformation shift. So for reasons of analytical convenience, I will first define the meaning of innovation. There is a national innovation system, then sectoral innovation system, then incremental innovation system. What is national innovation system? I'm happy that you are taking notes. These are all crucial things. National innovation system means new knowledge is generated by institutions, exploited by laboratories, and commercialized by dynamic firms. So there is a high degree of interactive framework between institutions, laboratories, and dynamic firms. Where does such an ideal national innovation system exist? To the best of my knowledge, which is limited, nowhere else except Singapore. In Singapore, it really exists. There is a high degree of interactive framework. In each university, there is an innovation chair. That man's job is to constantly monitor the changing pattern of demand for labor and attune the courses to meet the changing pattern of the corporate sector. They can do it on weekly basis, monthly basis, every basis. That is why they enjoy complete autonomy to do that. So once you are here, you are affiliated to the university, and the colleges are there. You have a board of examiners, very often created by very old people, and the retired professor serving as a chairman, suffering from all types of diabetes, heart attack, and very often they don't come for the meeting. And they can recommend books published in the 1950s and 60s. Sir, if I over exaggerate, please correct me.
No, sir, perfectly correct.
From your non-member clue, I could see that he's agreeing with me with everything what I say. 101%. Right? He's very encouraging looking at you, but you came here. Oh, why can't you sit there, sir? Okay, very encouraging. So, they should be changed. Unless you change our universities, institutions, prepare students only for entry into job and not for jobs. You can talk about campus recruitment and this and that. Let us talk about Infosys. They were recruiting students irrespective of what they learned in engineering college. Chemical engineers, civil engineers, mechanical engineers, electronic. Everybody was recruited for software activities. Everywhere at random. Okay, they are selected, they go there. Day one, they are not valid, they are not operational. They undergo 6-month intensive training. They fit into the system only after having undergone 6-month intensive orientation. So what does it mean? We are preparing students only for entry into employment, not for employment. And enhanced capabilities and skills required by the company is created by them due to orientation, strict orientation. And many software engineers are in the beginning, they are very happy. They got a job and they cross the border, they go to US and they are there flying here and there. They are very happy. In the long run, after 10 years, they are in the company with a long face, sick look, depressed, oppressed, suppressed, because they are not able to make use of what they learned in the college. Sir, I have seen my own relatives. What is this? And then something good is happening. That is business dynamism. What is happening is some students have the quest for making optimal use of what he learned there in the college. At one point, I will talk about my own nephew. Okay, he did the chemical engineering in Satyabama University. He got a job in Infosys, even the US. He is doing very well. Because he always wanted an opportunity to make use of that. See, the skills they developed over the years as software engineers, that when that is combined with an opportunity which this guy gets to make use of what he learned as a chemical engineering student, makes him professional intellect. You Google this phrase, who is a professional intellect. He gets an opportunity. So it's not bad. Anybody becoming a software engineer and eventually getting an opportunity to make use of that, then he combines. Software experience is the richest institution. Okay? Experience is the richest institution. So he uses that software engineering with the knowledge he acquired. Now he is doing extremely well. He's a top manager in one of the pharmaceutical companies. He is able to combine that. One should appreciate that. So you have to be very dynamic. This is another form of industrial dynamics. So this is about this one. Let me just concentrate on this economic efficiency. You must have learned about perfect competition, imperfect competition, monopolistic competition. And the teachers always say perfect competition, few producers, few sellers producing homogeneous products, and there is no transport cost. Perfect competition. In an ideal perfect competition, producers may produce optimal output at the least cost combination of factors of production. Now, we are teaching this for several years. Even in our dream, it will come. And particularly the law of diminishing marginality, I used to teach with a lot of interesting stories. Believe me, in my dream, I teach sometimes. Very often, it's no exaggeration. Because, see, I took teaching as a vocation. Some people take teaching as an occasion. Okay? Occasionally they teach. One day in a month, a good lecture, well prepared lecture. I'm not here, not why I was in university. I'm talking about universities in Punjab. Okay. And then some are taking it as a vacation. Some are taking it as a vacation. They are very happy. They are very happy to come there. It's a casino. They are very nice car. In those days, scooter. We were getting only 450 rupees salary. Now you people are armed with a lot of money. They come in cars and park here and go there, and they are totally bored during weekends. And weekends also they come here to the campus because it's totally boring. It's a source of joy, and it's a long vacation. They are active only during summer holidays. Okay, I have seen teachers are there, and worst part is some teachers conduct the business inside the campus also. Chit fund and this and this. It is very useful. Okay, then only few teachers, to the best of my knowledge, according to my assessment, 20% on an average, take teaching as a vocation. When you take teaching as a vocation, you are sincere, dedicated, loyal, committed, and they really add practical meaning to the purpose of education. What is the purpose of education? Make the students intellectually trained, morally upright, spiritually inspired, and socially committed. And in the order of the priority, the so-called Mada, Vida, Guru, Deva, you are coming before God. So when the students listen to the teachers, you will pave the way for them to reach Almighty God. That's the meaning of it. So what a great importance given to the teachers. Some people really take it as a very sincere. They are really active. And they rekindle creative thinking. Creative thinking, critical thinking. Critical thinking, as I said, end of production is learning, not consumption. And countries are enhancing both global competitiveness without comparative, resource-based comparative advantages because of it. That leads to creativity. And now we say 21st century, in 21st century, you make money out of creativity. You be innovative. You have to be very innovative in each and everything. In order to be innovative, you have to realize that knowledge is your source, innovation is your force, and technology is the accelerator, growth accelerator. So you look at the history of technology. During the first industrial mechanical operation, then steam engine, mechanical operation, then steam engine, then steam power, then came discovery of electricity, and then came computers, and then if we talk about disruptive technology, everything is triggered by disruptive technology. What are disruptive technology? Advanced digital production system, artificial intelligence, augmented reality, additive manufacturing, big data management, then cloud computing, 3D printers, Internet of Things, electromobility, Internet of Things, Internet of Services, Internet of everything. Now they talk about MindNet. Now they are talking about so-called quantum computing. 2 weeks ago, I read a very interesting clipping. Saudi Arabia invested $6 billion to create a program based on quantum computing. And they claim, I hope it is not a fake news. So I'm just testing the validity. It's so interesting to read. And they say this quantum computing program will eradicate poverty and hunger. And this poverty is different from that's why the sustainable development goal number is no poverty, number two, no hunger. There's a difference. Hunger means there are aspects of starvation. You have to drop genetically modified WFO is doing on daily basis. Poverty means you create sustainable sources of livelihood and they make livelihood out of it. Okay. So if they think it will alleviate poverty, then I went deep into it. How can it? Very interesting. Very interesting business dynamic. So I learned. What they say, you invest 2,000 rupees on stock exchange and become part of this program, quantum computing. It will automatically reinvest your money on shares which fetch higher prices. Minute by minute, every second, it will be reinvesting. You don't have to do anything. And it will give you 2,000 rupees per day. It is beyond our comprehension, no? But I don't know. I checked with many people. Many did not hear anything about it. I even contacted somebody. Yes, Saudi Arabia was doing something, but is it real? Please take the challenge of doing it. See whether this is real. Quantum computing will eradicate poverty. So it's a technology which comes as an answer to eradicate poverty. So perfect competition may say optimal output at the least cost combination of factors of production, but which is not the reality. Sir, you must have taught the same thing. I taught the same thing. We made great mistakes, sir. Sir, we were not doing justice to our job. When I was teaching, I did the mistake. You did the. I'm sir. Sir is also doing the same mistake. We are, it's important to make mistakes. The only thing is you don't repeat the same mistake because you have plenty of opportunities to make new mistakes. When you have plenty of opportunities to make new mistakes, why do you want to repeat past mistakes, old mistakes? So we all made, so tomorrow onwards, please, we will not repeat that. We make new mistakes, but correct this mistake. How will you correct this mistake? What did I say? Optimal output at the least cost combination of factors of production, which is an ideal state of affairs, and which it does not exist. It is not akin to reality. What is akin to reality is imperfect competition. There may be imperfect competition, monopolistic competition, but whether the business is offline or online or the bottom line, like offline or online, the bottom line is profit. I tell you, if we don't achieve optimal output at the least cost combination of factors of production, I openly declare that you are perfectly imperfect. Am I right, sir? He corrected. I corrected. You corrected it. And sir, you also corrected it. I'm sure other teachers. You are perfectly imperfect. Technological marvels are doing great wonders for you. You can easily achieve all these things. It is definitely within your cap. Many students, whenever I go to engineering colleges, particularly engineering, when I talk about the great benefits we get, the technological wonders, sophisticated technology, they all sit like very, very dull and dim mood. The environment always suggested that they came for the funeral, my funeral, the speaker's funeral, like this. So this guy is talking about quantum computing, is a disruptive technologies, everything. Will I 15 days? Will I survive in this world? It's not working. I think I will not survive. I should not have come for this meeting. This guy is actually inculcating a depression, actually injecting. You should have an optimistic mindset. It's very important. I am a son of a fisherman. How did I reach the second position in one of the UN agencies, principal advisor to the director general? And when I was a student, I could not write one grammatically defensible sentence in English. Believe me, I did not write. I want to confess this. I was not good at. I was fond of eating. My ultimate aim was to work in a bakery, thinking that if I get a chance to work in, I can pick up the cake and everything I can eat. Big suffer from. Suffer from. I mean, my house they call me Puttu because I was fond of Puttu. In the morning, if there is no Puttu, I used to get angry with my mother. I will first go and look at the kitchen. Puttu the second best option. If you do 2 hours, if Italy is good, then that day is a very dull day. All the time, suffer from. Now, I will tell you. Type of leave letters I write to the headmaster. It's no exaggeration. As I am suffering from fever, I want the headmaster to take me. This was my level. This was my level. And all the leave letters started with as I am suffering from. I came the way, unless you suffer from something, they will not grant you leave. Then during my sister's marriage, as I am suffering from my sister's marriage, but this time there was some improvement. This time there was some improvement. I want to take leave. That was improvement. I was not that fast. The second leave letter was good. Second half of second letter was good, no? Huh? I want to take leave. I can speak. Actually, I told Professor Selvam, why can't I make the stand-up comedy today? So, Sashish Tharoor made it. Sashish Tharoor, the great intellectual fortune of India. He made it for 1.5 hours, making everybody laugh. Then when I watched it, he's a good friend of mine. Sashish Tharoor, then I thought, my God, why can't I do that? It is within my capability. Everything is not. Then what happened when I read, a teacher who was teaching 11th of Commerce never liked me. He was always shouting at me. He said, one day he shouted at me and said, why are you wasting your time, energy, money here? Why can't you go back to your village and go for fishing? That went like an arrow. Believe me, all good things stem from bad things. Life is full of challenges. Each challenge is an opportunity. I experienced that. Your personal and professional response to convert challenges into opportunities and opportunities into sustainable sources of wealth creation is a discovery process. And to discover the process, you should attend this annual meeting. Every year, Professor Selvam is organizing every year this one. Every year. I had a very bad experience once in Africa, CAMI meeting, Conference of African Industries and Ministers. You know, the president of it was in South Africa. The president was there, every high level professor, and when the floor was opened for question, one of the ministers from African country ridiculed the organization. I said, I was at the airport in my country. My friend met me. I told him that I'm going for attending this CAMI meeting, Conference of African Ministers of Industry. I'm going there. Then my friend said, oh, you go there, attend. They will talk about what they have been talking for 30 years. The same thing, same question, same thing. And they said, this time it is being organized by, since it is being organized by South Africa, a relatively richer country in Africa, you may get a better conference back. Get it and come back. Nothing else. Then I took the floor. I asked the president, I said, sir, you are absolutely right, sir. Every year we organize it, annual meeting, like Dr.M.Selvam is doing. Every year annual meeting. And we call it fourth, it's the fifth meeting, 13, 15, 18. So 0.18, like 5.1, 5.1. When the film producers always say that, Singham 2, Singham 3, Singham 5, something like that. And the 13.0. This is 13.0. 1 okay, 18.0. Okay, let's see, 18 years. Why is he doing it? Because it is true that we discuss the same question, same issues. He is doing it every year because the answer to the questions and issues change. You understand that? Today's answer is totally different. When I talk about disruptive technologies, you may be frightened. Oh, we will be jobless. My next book is titled Technology and Jobs, Fear Not. Technology creates more jobs. When computer was introduced in Kerala, something very interesting came. So the ruling party, the Communist Party was ruling at that time. Ruling party organized formal agitation against the introduction of computer, interpreting computer as a substitute for typewriter, saying that all the typists would lose job. They never ever realized that the millions of jobs could be created by computer-related services. One good thing with Kerala is, the moment they realize that, they plunge into that. Today, Kerala encompasses 5 state-of-the-art tech parks, and the 5th one is in the pipeline. See the millions of jobs created by like that. There is no evidence to prove that robots are replacing labor force. New technologies demand more labor force. Plenty of opportunities will be. So please inculcate an optimistic mindset. I will narrate a story how to inculcate an optimistic mindset. You have to be optimistic. I was narrating my story. So the lecturer shouted at me, and then I thought I should take revenge against this teacher. I prepared for 2 hours for my exam, Elements of Commerce, and when I sat for the exam, he said, answer 3 out of 5. I came to the feeling that I could answer all the 5 questions. I felt very calm. I was pretty at ease in writing that. After 1 week, he distributed the, when he announced my number 275, I still remember. I got up, he looked at the paper, looked at me, and he said, "Did you copy?" I said, "No, I did not copy." "No, you copied." I said, "I don't." When you are right, whoever it is, you ascertain yourself, even in front of God. If you are right, you ascertain yourself, stand on that. You will not fail. You are not antagonizing anybody. You are standing on your right, what you are doing. You did the right thing at the right time for the right person, the right way. You are totally convinced. Be bold enough to ascertain you. I said, "No, sir." And he didn't like me getting 48 out of 50. At this point, you have to clap. Sir, எல்லாத்துக்கும் கையடிச்சாங்க சார். இதுக்கெல்லாம் வந்து குத்துவதெல்லாம் வந்து அடிப்படையில் கையடிச்சாங்க. வைஸ் சான்சலர் தரப்பு கையடிச்சாங்க. சார் அவர் பேசும்போது குருமூர்த்தி பேசும்போது என்ன கையடிச்சாங்க? அவர் எங்க இருக்காரு குருமூர்த்தி? அது எப்படி சார் எல்லா குருமூர்த்தி அல்ல எங்க இருக்காரு போயிட்டு வர்றாரு வருவாரா? அவ்வளோ உட்காந்து கேட்டுருக்காங்க. எல்லா குருமூர்த்திஸும் இன்டெலெக்சுவலா இருக்காங்க, பெரிய இன்டெலெக்சுவலா. சரி, ஓகே. So then he didn't like that. He threw the paper. He threw the paper from Podachi Bode, like this. He said he didn't like me securing because I was very naughty. It was on that day I realized two things. Whatever is prescribed for me is within my capability. All that I need to do is to spend time. Started. Next day onwards, I was totally different. The priest used to tell me, "Oh, you are not the same Devamala. You are different, something different. You are not the same man. You are totally different." And I think there is something positive happening. I became very serious. Believe me, 18 hours a day. In those days, they used to keep the library open for 24 hours in St. Xavier's College. To make a long story short, BA first class, and that time there was only one university, sir, Madras University. Another university was there. It was just established at that time. To be honest, no one took it serious in those days. Now it's very popular. In those days, don't get offended. No, I am telling the truth. So, BA first class, state first, and MA gold medalist, best outgoing student. And then Raja sir, another picture. Sir, welcome, sir. Welcome. Nice to see you. Every time I see you, you look younger and younger. I think you are adding life to years, not years to life.
Only value addition. Only value addition.
Value addition. See, this is another value addition. So, and then MA gold medal and MPhil gold medal and PhD. I predicted the East Asian financial crisis 10 years before it occurred. It has come in the form of a book. Sir, I am going to request you, sir, 7 books of mine, including this book, It's a Reality of East Asian Model of Development Lessons for India. I am arranging meetings in important cities with institutions, and students will review. Each student will get one slot, 15 minutes slot. We will do it here. You always express the most positive person. So, coming back to optimism, I will tell you a story. A Catholic priest during Sunday Mass, instead of saying by slip of his tongue, he said, "Jesus Christ fed 5 persons with 5,000 loaves of bread." The miracle was Jesus Christ fed 5,000 with the 5 loaves of bread. So he made a mistake. And one guy got up. In each gathering, there will be a buffoon, like circus, you know that. There will be a joker. I'm sure there is a joker in this group. He got up. And then he said, "Who can do this?" The priest said, "Who can do this?" He said, "I can do this." Again, "I can do this." Distributing 5,000 loaves of bread for 5 persons. 1,000 each finished, you know. And then the priest dismissed him as an idiot, ignored him, and then an old lady went and told him, "Father, he made this mistake." Next week, please correct it. It's very embarrassing. So next week, the priest said, "Jesus Christ fed 5,000 persons with the 5 loaves of bread." Again, he said, "Who can do this?" The same man got up. He said, "I can do this." And the priest was annoyed. He said, "How can you do this?" He said, "With what was left last week." So if you have that optimistic mindset, you can make the impossible possible. Believe me. So I was telling them that in perfect competition we talk about optimal output, this and that. That's not the reality. We all made mistakes in teaching that. Or don't follow perfect, it is not real. But this is real situation. I am telling them, if you don't make optimal output at the least cost combination of factors of production or using all disruptive technologies, You are perfectly imperfect. This is what I said. So we all accepted our mistake as teachers, and hereafter we will teach in a different way. But in the examination, please write what is contained in the textbook. Because the examiner who evaluates may not be intelligent enough to understand your intelligence. You got it. You have to be very careful and write it in bold letter. That mistake in bold letter. I enjoy teaching, sir. Actually, I used to teach each theory by telling stories. I used to time my own story. For that, you have to spend time. Nothing will fall like manna from heaven. The law of diminishing marginal utility. You know how you say, the boyfriend telling the girlfriend, and the girlfriend inviting his boyfriend and giving him one cup of Bonvita, second cup of Bonvita, third cup of Bonvita, fourth, selling compelling reasons and convincing arguments to say, first one is for you, second one is for me, fourth, the third one is for our life, fourth one our grandchildren, and like that, and made him drink. And utility was diminishing, eventually it reached zero. Suddenly, the mother of the girl entered the house, and he saw this boy. Said, "Who is this?" He said, "He is a loyalite." Loyalite means if a girl picks up friendship with a loyalite, that the girl's mother will be happy because loyalites normally come up very well. If you look at all the IAS and IPS officers in Chennai, loyalites. Most of them, very often. So they are very proud. So mother was very, when this girl said, "My mother may bring a cup of water, don't say no." I cannot tell her that you already consumed 5 cups. You already consumed 5 cups. Then it will create a very bad impression. Oh, if Bonvita is available free of cost, this is very any number of Bonvita. So don't tell her. I will not tell her. If this is the first cup of Bonvita given by my mother, please take it. And this was, he was always suffocating because utility was diminishing from each additional unit already reached zero. The moment he gave the sixth cup, the moment he started drinking, he vomited. So it became negative. You got it? This is how I used to teach. My students, they formed a club, sir. Students of Deva in Kanyakumari. Every year they come. Every year they come on the eve of Christmas from different parts of the world, spend one full day with me at a five-star hotel, either spa or next spa, and talking about all that I said. Hey, why are you here? And that no, sir. And the daughter-in-law of one of my students said, "Sir, my uncle all the time is talking about you. Your mode of teaching, your sense of humor, and this and that." So this is slightly different. I'm sorry, it will be deviating. Let us come back to this. Now, seizing opportunities, I have explained. So you have to comply with all the tenets of sustainable development to ensure economic efficiency, ecological compliance, and social inclusion. Talking about ecological compliance, yesterday I was addressing a huge gathering at American College. I told them that if the business people do business to destroy the planet, there will be no planet to do business. And they highly appreciated that. You have to comply with because and you have to adhere to that one. It is very important, and all these norms are there. It's not easy. It's a big challenge, but technological marvels are facilitating. Last one, try to participate in the open innovation and value creation network. I talked about the so-called industrious revolution during the pre-industrial era, before the first industrial revolution. Household sector responding to. Today, household sector is responding to uh, growing demand for goods and services. You can imagine how much they are very active. They participate in the so-called global value chain very effectively. If we have enhanced adaptive capabilities and skills to turn out any small product for a big product with a high degree of precision, complying with the international standards and quality control norm, you really participate. I can give you one example. One guy from Lagos. Have you heard of Lagos? The most corrupt city, and crime is at the highest rate of crime. The international reputation is upon landing in Lagos, you get killed. How is it? I landed several times and I was not killed. I was very smart. I know how. Very corrupt. Very corrupt. Once, I think when I was working in Malaysia, I went from Malaysia to, I got the visa in February. And when I went to the immigration officer, he said, "I will imitate him. Huh? I'm a good actor. Huh? A better actor will not say that he's a good actor." But he said, I am going to send you back, sir. I said, why? You got this visa in February. This is July. I got it in July actually. The 7th was written with a stroke. He interpreted this as 2. Look at this, is 2. I said, no, sir, I just got it last week and I did not get it in February. No, I'm sorry, there's a technical. Then an Indian lady standing behind me in service, she said, sir, don't worry, don't worry. Just to give him $10. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. To give him $10. What are you need is $10. Then I said, I overheard that. I said, why should I pay him $10? I told him, sir, I have a meeting with the Minister of Industry in Abuja. I have to get the connecting flight. You want me to go or you want me to go back? Oh, you have a meeting with the minister. Where is the evidence? I gave him a copy of the letter. He looked at it, but still, there's a big problem, sir. I cannot allow you to go. Then I said, sir, can I talk to your supervisor? You know what was his reply? Gentlemen, my supervisor will be more expensive. Better you give $10 and go. $10 and go. And you know, in Africa they don't add value. I told you, you know why? It's Sustainable Development Goal 9. Look at it. That says create a resilient infrastructure. Very good, very good. You know, I was part of that goal, sir. It was from UNIDO, recently from UNIDO, from the industrial perspective. I was part of it. Create resilient infrastructure. Promote inclusive industrial development and faster innovation. Resilient infrastructure is a must. You just look at why is that 80% of the foreign direct investment is always going to 28 locations, not even countries, 28 dynamic locations. Because these locations encompass strong infrastructural base and utility services. This is the minimum. You look at the infrastructure in Africa, the quality of service at the airport will tell you the quality of service in the country. You land in any, I mean, I'm not talking about South Africa, Egypt, Sudan, for example. When you land there in Khartoum, you go there, my God, it's very rigorous exercise to get the clearance. Eventually, you correct your back, which may not normally correct, and put it on the trolley. You push the trolley, 4 wheels will go in 4 directions. You cannot move forward. I told the minister, sir, what is this? Can't we buy good, right? Because they were minting money because of oil. At that time, oil, they were benefiting from high quality of oil production. You know? But, sir, please see to it that they have proper trolleys, sir. And the cost of production in Africa is very high because of very bad infrastructural base. Cost of doing business is equally high because of corruption. In some countries, corruption is over the table. In some countries, it is under the table. In many African countries, I hope our African countries not listening to the students. And he knows.
He knows better.
He knows much better than me. And he's living with that situation. So I can tell you, in Africa, the table itself is corrupt. The table is corrupt. But in India also, I have seen table being corrupt. Because when I went to a village officer for a certificate, sir, to say that there's a well in my coconut garden, and there is plenty of water, and he has to get the electricity connection. So he has to certify. And then his assistants gave me some non-verbal clues. Gave me something, show Mahatma Gandhi. I said, why did they print Mahatma Gandhi on the notes? Indians' patriotism is heightened up when they see that Mahatma Gandhi, oh my God, what a great emotional commotion. Everything is done. When you show Mahatma Gandhi, and if that's why corruption is in a way, you know, one who gives is happy, one who gets is happy, getting things done. So when I went there, the village officer just to pull the drawer out. The implication was I should put some money into that. One Mahatma Gandhi note, 500. And this guy gave a lot of clues, then I understood. Believe me, I gave, without visiting my coconut garden, without looking at my survey, he gave me a nice certificate. I visited this garden, registered number this one, survey number this one, there's a well, there's plenty of water, and electricity can be. He did not even visit. So I was in a way happy that I was not. I was not forced to undertake the responsibility of taking him in a taxi and getting all these things. So, but corruption is bad. But see, distributive corruption is very bad. You collect and distribute to your relatives. That's bad. Protective corruption is very good. You can, if you can plow back the money into protective act, which South Korea did. All the corrupt guys in South Korea. South Korea. One of the reasons for South Korea emerging as a newly industrializing country was actually like a protective corruption. And there is a very interesting article which explains the correlation between democratization and corruption. So that's why Paul Collier, the famous Oxford economist, he wrote a book at the bottom, first in the not bottom, the bottom billion, bottom billion. You know what he said? He would prefer a dictator who could ensure good governance with a high degree of transparency, accountability, and in doing everything, making an indelible impact on poverty reduction. He would prefer that dictator to democratically elected corrupt leaders. He said it. And all the African governments immediately passed a resolution in the Africa Union meeting saying, ban the visit of Paul Collier to any country. He will not be allowed to touch our holy soil. This is what they said. This happened to Paul Collier. You know, I know that. And what Paul Collier said was really true. It's much better to have these people instead of having democratically elected corrupt leaders. So I'm not go deep into it. I don't have to convince you, you definitely know. So what I'm saying is, we have to make optimal use of the opportunities available in the open innovation and value creation network. And as I said, the household sector is effectively participating in this value creation network. Many, so many. It's called neo-industrious revolution. This is called neo-industrious revolution. In my village, district, Kanyakumari district, the production of cakes, bun, and all they sell in the bakery are subcontracted to the houses. And they do it very well. But it's done scientifically. They give them proper equipment, go and monitor regularly, everything. And Karpati Alwa. Have you eaten Karpati Alwa of Kanyakumari district? The best sweet in the world. Every time I go back to Vienna, I take 5 kilos. Everybody wants it. And the way Alwa goes. Yeah. So this is all made by, what one shop is selling around 1 lakh rupees per day. It's coming from houses. It's not coming from. This is so you be part of that, part of the new reality, opportunity certainty, and once again I reiterate, participate effectively in these conferences. New idea means new wealth creation. Ideas are very important. As Dr.M.Selvam said, idea is wealth, and creative thinking is very important. And face challenges with a creative mindset, convert those challenges into opportunities for wealth creation, and be a truly development catalyst, imbued with all the attitudes and values that will comply with economic efficiency, ecological compliance, and social inclusion. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is shared is power multiplied. Let's acknowledge such knowledge shared. Now we invite our Dev Prasad to propose vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, everyone. First, I thank the organizers for giving me the opportunity to propose the vote of thanks for this plenary session. At the outset, kindly allow me to express my sincere appreciation to Dr.M.Selvam, former Principal Advisor to the Director General of Vienna, Principal Advisor, Knowledge Management Associate, Vienna, Austria, for his lecture on the role of innovation in the current transformative shift in emerging business opportunities. He explained all the concepts in the simplest way possible. He reiterated that critical thinking should be the main part of curriculum. It should be solely focused on the education sector. Thank you very much, sir, for your outstanding lecture. Next, I thank Dr.M.Selvam, Professor and Head of the Department, for his excellent arrangements in conducting this international seminar. Thank you, sir. And we thank the participants for their keen interest in participating in this international seminar. Next, I would like to thank our department faculty members for your kind support and guidance for this plenary session. Thank you, professors.
need to go to the airport.
Finally, I registered my profound gratitude to our department PhD research scholars and engaged students for your support and coordination in making this event successful. Once again, I thank you all.
5 minutes. Very good.
I have to rush. I have to go to the airport.
Now it's time for lunch break. We request the participants to join with us for lunch served at the veranda. You are requested to assemble before 2 p.m.
Sir, cell phone.
Yes, very important.
Dear participants, you kindly join at 1:45. After lunch, you can join the link. Dear participants, please join the link after lunch 1:45. Thank you. Thank you.